Yes, you can make a delicious and healthy baked strawberry oatmeal that is high in protein and flavor. This easy yet elegant breakfast gets a protein boost from cottage cheese, almond butter, and protein powder. Fresh strawberries, toasted almonds, coconut, and cane sugar are blended with old-fashioned oats and then baked until golden. Then it's topped with a creamy strawberry drizzle that takes it to another level of yum. Hello there, my name is Nicole Bonilla and I am so glad you're here. If you love healthier, all-natural recipes like I do, then you are in the right place. To make this baked oatmeal, we're going to start by prepping our 8x8 square pan. And I'm just going to take a piece of parchment paper and put my pan on top, fold and score one edge, fold it on the square, place my pan on top, crease the other side, fold it square, flip my paper over, press it down into my pan, and fold both sides up and over the edges. And then I'll generously spray it with some nonstick. And this will make it super easy to get it out of the pan once it's baked. And then we can set this aside. This is optional, but next we're going to toast our almonds. So I'm just going to bring my frying pan to a medium-high heat and then drop in about a teaspoon of butter. And I'll just stir that around until it melts. And then we'll just dump in half a cup of sliced almonds and a few pinches of salt. And then we'll stir this around until all the almonds are coated in the butter. So it's been about a minute and I can tell that the ones on the bottom are starting to turn a slightly golden brown. So I'm going to go ahead and give these a stir. And then I'll keep stirring them for about another minute, just making sure that they don't over toast or become burnt. Well, those are perfect, so we can take them off the heat. The trick to camouflaging cottage cheese in your recipes is to blend it smooth so that you don't have that curdled cottage cheese texture. You can use any blender or food processor. I'm just going to use the blender cup that comes with my immersion blender. And then we're going to add 2/3 of a cup of cottage cheese, and you could use small curd, large curd, non-fat, low fat, whatever your preference. I prefer to use the full fat for the most creaminess. Next we'll add half a cup of milk, and you can use any variety that you like. I'm using almond milk. As a natural sweetener, I'm adding 1/3 cup of cane sugar, but you could use regular if you prefer. And for some added protein and flavor, I'm adding 1/4 cup of almond butter. You could also use cashew butter. Next, I'm adding 2 tablespoons of avocado oil, but you could use any oil. Then we're adding 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract and 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar. And then I'll just put on my lid and blend it on high until we no longer see any of those little cottage cheese curdles. Well, that looks great. Now we can pour the cottage cheese mixture into a medium-sized mixing bowl. And then I'm going to add 2 eggs. And then I'll just whisk these together until they're well combined. And I didn't add the eggs to the blender to make sure they didn't get overmixed. Well, now we can add our dry ingredients, which includes 2 cups of old-fashioned oats, 1/4 cup of your favorite protein powder. I recommend using a vanilla flavor or even a non-flavored. 1/4 cup of coconut. And then I have 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. And then I'm just going to stir these together until they're well combined. Oh man, that smells so good. Now we're going to add 1 cup of freshly diced strawberries. Now you could use frozen, but you'd want to let them thaw first and then be able to drain off any excess liquid. And then we'll simply pour this batter down into our prepared pan. And then we'll just gently spread it out in our pan. Now for a really beautiful garnish on top of our oatmeal, I'm going to thinly slice some strawberries. And you can decide if you want to cut them so that you have the heart shape of a strawberry, or you can cut them widthwise so that you have little ovals. So I'm going to go ahead and cut off my stem. And then using my egg slicer, I'm going to place it sideways so that I get little oval strawberry shapes. And then press down. And then I have these perfectly sliced little medallions. And then we can go in and just place them on top of our oatmeal. And then you can play with the sizes to get a really beautiful mosaic effect on top of your oatmeal. And you'll need about 6 or 7 strawberries to cover the whole top of it. I feel like I'm playing that game of Tetris with strawberries. Now last but not least, we're going to add a little bit of crunch by sprinkling on some of our toasted almonds. And this will add a delicious little touch of the butter flavor as well as a little bit of salt. Well, this looks gorgeous and it's ready to go into a 350-degree oven for anywhere between about 27 and 32 minutes or until the top is just starting to turn a light golden brown. Now while that's in the oven, we'll go ahead and make our strawberry drizzle that's going to go on top of our oatmeal. Now not only is this going to add more protein with cottage cheese, but it's also going to add a little bit more of a sweet to balance the salt and the tang of the strawberries. So again, you can use your upright blender or a food processor. I went ahead and rinsed out my chopper cup that comes with my immersion blender. I'm going to add 1/2 cup of cottage cheese, 1/3 cup of some powdered cane sugar, but you could use regular powdered sugar if you prefer. And then I'm gonna add 3 strawberries, and I'll just roughly chop them. And I'll just put on the lid and blend till they're well combined. Ooh, that is so pretty. And then you can quickly do a sweetness quality control pinky test. That's really good. But if you'd like to have it a little bit on the sweeter side, you could easily add a tablespoon or more of the powdered sugar. And then I'm gonna let this hang out in the fridge until our oatmeal is baked, cooled, and ready to eat. Well, here's my baked oatmeal right out of the oven, and I let it cook for 32 minutes, and it is gorgeous. I love the oval shapes of the strawberries on top, and then those toasted almonds add beautiful texture. Well, I'm gonna be serving this oatmeal later, so I don't wanna cut into it just yet, but I do have a piece from a previous batch that I can sample. So our drizzle has sat in the fridge for about 35 minutes, and you can see that it's helped it set up. So I'm gonna put a nice big spoonful on top of my oatmeal, but you could also pipe this on if you like to make it more aesthetic. Wow, that tastes delicious. As soon as you bite in, you get the soft texture of the baked oats with all that flavor, and then you get the little bit of crunch coming in from the almonds on top, and then the strawberries just make it super fresh and vibrant, and then the sweetness coming in from that drizzle just takes it to another level. And I love that it's made high in protein and with all natural ingredients, and that means I'm gonna feel just as good even after I eat it. And I love that I can share my creatively healthier recipes so that you can enjoy them too. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I've included a link to the full recipe, and it's in the video description below, and it takes you to my website, gentletummy.com. And I also invite you to like and subscribe to my channel. And if you know someone else you think would love this recipe, please share this video with them. And I cannot wait to have you hang out with me again in my kitchen.